You can't unsee what you see.
It's happy hour. Okay, we just day drank.
So when we talk about you gambling and having an issue,
This is what we're talking about. Do not buy another JVA warranty until you've looked at the Caddie Workmanship Guarantee Program.
We're kicking ass and taking names, apparently.
Caddie Shack.
oh my God. Nick, we're back. We haven't done one of these in a long time.
Back again, back in Dallas, the pod studio.
At Evan's Pod Studio. This is where we're using, because we're, I think, too lazy to set up our own pod studio right now because we're busy.
This one's nice.
This is very nice. This is like, people can't tell because I think the cameras make it look bigger, but I could like touch you.
Yeah, no, whenever you looked at me, I was like, I think maybe I'll go back a little bit.
Yeah, I love how like on camera this thing looks like it's a 10 by 10. Yeah, we're not, but we're close. But anyways, hilarious. So here we are. I wanted to jump on here and talk about something big going on. It's in line with like things we've been talking about for the last 5 or 6 years, and really just wanted to hammer home because now it's coming out and it's not something that's being kind of hidden behind the scenes by some of these folks. It's like on CNBC yesterday
With a lot of big money behind it.
Real money behind it, really, really happening. So I think to get there, we're going to talk about what Lowe CEO Marvin Ellison talked about on CNBC yesterday morning, and more importantly, what they put out that they were piloting this for the last 8 months and came out and really were vocal about it last week. So before we get into talking about exactly what they're doing, let's take a step back and talk about the supply chain because we are very much into supply chain. We've talked about sourcing materials. Well, these retailers kind of have it down.
Yeah, they're both Lowe's and Home Depot, who we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I've been buying a lot of their products and never knew that it was theirs.
Yep. I didn't either. I assumed that they had, they've got just like the grocery stores have kind of their great value brands or whatever. I assumed they were doing that and talked to some of my neighbors and things, and they're in like the auto space or whatever, and they started to see products being sourced directly, kind of bypassing some of the steps in the supply chain to get directly to like your O'Reilly's and those companies. But really seeing it now in Home Depot and Lowe's, which us being in the contracting space and the home services world, is starting to really get close. And then obviously the stuff we're going to talk about from yesterday is really going to make an impact. But to your point, I was shopping at Home Depot, getting a trash can. Okay, so I got a trash can for my backyard. And I'm like, what is this HDX brand? Apparently it's been in the stores for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that trash can is $25, and the exact same trash can over here with some other brand is $50. I'm like, it's the same trash can.
Yeah.
I'll do that one.
Yeah, no, and you called me that day. You're like, does Home Depot make anything? And I was like, I'm pretty sure just the buckets, just those orange buckets. And he's like, no, HDX. And I was like, I think I have like 40 of their bins in my garage. Well, I did.
Dude, what caught me off guard was, obviously I could see it with some of the like the plastic bins and the trash cans, and maybe that's where it was limited to. But I started walking down. If you're in like the outdoor section and you get a trash can, you walk by the pool section, or at least in this setup we did. And I looked to the right and I'm like, chlorine, HDX. I'm like, good Lord, they have gone broad. I mean, they are in almost every single vertical, which means talking on supply chain, they went way upstream. I mean, they have connected directly with OEMs, and they are now sourcing their own stuff.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. They get to see what sells, and they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll phone a friend.
Which, forever our thesis has been that in the contracting world, that eventually there would be this pivot point, and that you would start seeing retailers in the verticals within home service that don't have retailers yet, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've seen it with appliances already get massively disrupted from what it was 30 years ago, where you'd have appliance shops, you'd go buy a dishwasher or a refrigerator, appliance company would sell it to you, come install it. That all got shaken up with the retail giants coming in and selling these products.
Yeah.
And then what we're starting to see is, I think the air conditioning industry has always said, it's too hard to do this. It's going to be overly complicated. They're not going to be able to sell an air conditioner. And then there's a lot of folks through legacy distribution agreements and things that said we won't give them our products.
Yeah.
So what did they do recently? We were at the AHR show this year, right? And where was it? Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're walking around, and I was shocked, but not shocked, at how many overseas manufacturers were represented in the footprint of this show. And specifically, I saw one, Pioneer, that had a huge booth, right? And I don't know if they're an overseas manufacturer. I haven't looked much into Pioneer, but it was interesting to see them because the month before we were out there, you and I were looking. This is like maybe late November, early December, maybe it's 2 months before we got out there.
Right around there.
We started looking, and all of a sudden we saw you could buy Pioneer systems on Home Depot's website at a very competitive price point.
19 SEER too. I mean, it was great price point. Fully ducted, because I've known they've had the mini splits for
like
a while.
Mr. Cool and stuff like that.
And the DIY stuff. And now it's like they got Costway.
Right.
That was another one.
Yep.
Pioneer, full ducted systems, 20 SEER inverter, the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, it's crazy.
They did it.
Yeah, they're there.
They did it. They're there. They've got them online. It's going to be super interesting. The people that I think are going to see a wild world ahead of them for the next 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years for this group, and then the next like 5 to 10 are going to be a different group. But the next 2 to 3 years are going to be the traditional OEMs.
For sure.
What are they going to do?
I mean, maybe get their products in Home Depot and Lowe's and try.
They're going to have to, I think, because what you're having now from just a value prop perspective and what's being pushed out there is these products, which, yes, they don't have the big, like, well-known brand on them, but open them up a little bit. Peel back the curtains or whatever, the layers. And as soon as you take one of those shells off of a condenser, I think you're going to be surprised.
Yeah, that you're going to see the same parts as your legacy brands.
Same compressors.
Same compressor, same small component stuff.
Yep. Yep.
It's all the same.
So they did a good job. So kudos to them. They obviously know what they're doing, and they did a great job sourcing. For those that are unaware, and there's been so much like misinformation out in the industry for so long, you got to have an EPA card to buy a condenser. No, you don't. And you know where it was evidenced was in the mini splits, right? When mini splits started being sold retail and you started really diving into it, you could see you don't have to have an EPA card as a consumer to buy from a retailer that equipment.
Yeah.
When that happened, we were like, well, then why aren't we retailing air conditioners everywhere, right?
Exactly.
And then they did it, of course.
Yeah. And then I think to segue into what we're about to talk about, which is the most recent news, it's like, okay, well, they're selling air conditioners now.
Yep.
How does that impact the business?
Yep.
Are contractors going to go do the installs on behalf of these big box retailers?
Yep.
And then, was it last week? And then big news this week, which was $250 million and 250,000 W-2 jobs.
If we had like the bum, 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 like noise right now, it would be fantastic because what Nick just said is so critically important. It's Lowe's is committed through their foundation to spend $250 million to train and develop 250,000 associates / technicians. Now, they're putting it under the guise or under the message, not guise, it implies something negative, but their messaging is we're doing it for the trades, right? So they are doing it for the trades, but what they're doing is following a recipe that's already been there forever. So back in the day, there was a company, most of you guys are familiar with it, like Hiller Heating and Air in Tennessee. One of the most impressive companies I've ever seen in my life. What caught me off guard when I visited them the first time was that they had a school attached to their main corporate office. Okay, they were developing technicians and then basically having first right to cherry pick the best technicians. It was a great way I think they had creatively financed a way of not making this a big cost center to them, but instead a revenue source, which is brilliant. I think other companies are starting to do that or have been doing that for a bit now. But they could cherry pick the best technicians. Super smart.
Train them the way they want too.
Sounds a lot like this foundation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? So the story has been written. This stuff happens. They're doing it. I don't know how big of a service company Lowe's is about to become, But I can tell you it's going to be larger than anyone that exists today.
Definitely, yeah.
By a magnitude of some multiple that we probably can't even comprehend right now. It's unbelievable. So I just want to recap because I'm not sure that I'm even saying how important this is to the contracting community that listens to this. They've gone up the supply chain. They have, for the time being, solved getting a super competitive, highly efficient, unitary heat pump and gas system in their stores.
Yeah.
Okay. Go take them apart, and you're going to find they're incredibly similar to the brands that we're all familiar with, right? People are going to argue it's not as good because of this spine fin coil or this whatever. They're very similar. In fact, they're using the inverter motors. I would argue that from the price point, which if you go look at Home Depot, I'm going to misquote this, but I'll say it. One of these systems, I think we looked at like a 5-ton heat pump.
Yeah.
5-ton heat pump, 19 SEER, inverter compressor, highly efficient. I think the price point was like less than $3,000 retail.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We can't you can't buy that. You can't buy that from a wholesaler
for a 14 SEER unit.
Right.
And you can go get a 19 SEER, more efficient, same warranty, same parts for $3,000.
So what does that do to our industry going up supply chain? It strips out the distribution margin. It cuts OEM margin tremendously. I'm going to call it our master distributor margin, which is the American OEM for the most part. And because they've gone directly to sourcing from places like China and Vietnam and other sources, Mexico sometimes is where they're coming from. They have done a tremendous job, getting it as cheap as they can, which is a question that we've always asked. When I was doing my previous company and we were selling, almost $50 million, over $50 million of air conditioning a year, I always wondered, what is the base? What's the bottom? How cheap is an air conditioner? Well, Lowe's just found out, and they're getting at that.
Exactly.
So all that margin gets cut out of the industry. Really, if I'm an OEM or I'm a distributor, I'm doing one of two things. As a distributor, which I do want to touch on in a second, I'm nervous. As an OEM, I'm knocking on Lowe's door being like, hey.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm here. I'd love to partner with you.
And we'll do the fulfillment.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. But then let's go the other direction, which has always been a problem. The OEMs can't pivot into that model yet. Someone will, I think, but or try to, because they are at the mercy of the contractor base.
Yeah.
Right? And the contractor base will say, I'm not buying from you, Mr. Wholesale Distributor or OEM, if you sell directly to the public. Mm-hmm. And forever, OEMs have been too scared to do that. And understandably, right? It's too risky. Not scared. It's too risk adverse. Lowe's says, you're still going to buy supplies from me.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like I'm walking through trying to go sell a system at somebody's house. Mm-hmm. That's a really weird conversation where it's like, hey, you buy a Train product, Lennox carrier, it's $10,000, and it's like, well, I got a quote from Lowe's for a 3 SEER higher than what you're offering me, and I can go buy the equipment for $2,500.
Yeah,
and now they might be able to go do the install for you too, and it's like it's really tough competition now. It's like I don't know what to say. It's like, yeah, that is a better system.
Well, let's talk about one more thing then with that. So we've talked about up the supply chain. Now let's get back to this contracting side. So one thing I want to hammer, focus in on or whatever, hammer home. Marvin on CNBC said, this is not third-party companies we're sending into your house to do these services. These are our associates. These are dedicated associates at the stores that will go into your house and perform this work. That's it. Yep. That's it. You go look it up. It's there. We'll try to attach a link to the video from CNBC's interview to this, but that's exactly what explicitly he said. Mm-hmm. That is terrifying for the contracting industry.
Yeah.
Terrifying. It's brilliant of Lowe's. Absolutely brilliant. Assuming that contractors don't not shop there or whatever. I'm blanking on the very simple word there, but that they don't boycott Lowe's, then it's a brilliant move because of two things. And every contractor understands this. Capacity is going to be well optimized, right? There's not going to be a whole lot of latent time because they'll go do things in the store to help on the time when they're not fulfilling. So you've got a more leveraged service network. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
Well, yeah, and they have their $99 a year plan,
and
Home Care Plus.
Yeah.
believable. So whether it be HVAC or a water heater, or for $99 a year, you get 2 visits, dryer vent cleaning, filter change outs, light bulbs, smoke detector, battery change. I mean, that is a great value, and you can always occupy somebody's time. I'm going to sign up for it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sign up for it too. And what's crazy is, so at Fixed, we offered a home club. Actually, very similar value prop, not as comprehensive, didn't do this much work because we couldn't do it for that price. Like our actual hourly wages for technicians relative to the workload they're saying they're going to do would exceed that by almost twice as much, because this is 2 visits a year for all the tasks that you just described for $99 a year. Now, they're probably running this as a loss leader, and they're going to buy that business and they're going to expand market share. So brilliant on them.
Yeah.
But to your point you were saying earlier before we jumped on here, they're also the retailer of these products.
Yeah. Well, they've gone up the supply chain now.
Yep.
I would imagine, before this Home Care Plus, I'm going to buy all my stuff on Amazon. Like,
Probably making a dent into their in-store purchases. This is a pivot to
for sure, because I can go get filters for cheaper on Amazon. I can get light bulbs. It's easy. I don't have to go into the store. So, a good way to combat Amazon taking their customers is we'll go do it in your house.
Yeah.
And we'll have the filter ready. We'll have the light bulb ready.
Which this is the whole thing. So for those that don't know my background, I had a big home warranty company, and our big differentiating factor was that we had W-2 technicians that would go fulfill on our claims. And as long as you could maximize the utilization of a technician, you could drive your claims costs down. Well, all your other home warranty companies now, they've historically used all independent network. Now they're letting people choose their own network, which is wild to me because I don't understand how the economics work. But they are using an independent network. Well, we beat them on a cost basis because we were really good at optimizing our labor, right? Amazon Home Services uses an independent network.
Yeah.
Lowe's is going to use W-2 folks to fulfill these jobs. They are playing a smarter game right now.
For sure.
If they can maximize occupancy, and they will.
For sure. There's 14 tasks that come included. So, there's a lot of stuff to get done.
Yeah, there's work there. Hopefully the money translates. And they do have the ability to sell all these different products. They have the ability to monitor the house and see what's there and see where opportunities are for someone that's got a struggling dryer or whatever it is that they want to sell.
100%. And whenever you brought up the HDX stuff, I had HDX light bulbs. So
Yeah.
it all is starting to make sense. Okay, well, $99, your typical independent guy can't do that.
Right.
But if you're fully vertically integrated up the supply chain, it's makes sense. It's a great move.
They have it all now. So what does that mean? This is why, and this is what we talk about, when we're not here doing a podcast. This is something that Evan and I were very passionate about. Evan's over there running the little toggle thing right now. I wish we had a camera on him. We've talked about this forever. We said that this would happen in 2021. We were very aware of it, and it's why we started Caddie.
Yeah, you have a paper that I think
it literally outlines
it's
this.
just the future. It's it's now, but it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, and basically what it said was, this is before AI. Now AI's totally transformed the world because of your access to information. So everyone's margin and businesses where you don't have full transparency to what's happening is going to be squeezed, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what you're seeing here. And now what you have with this move is just the actual materialization of what we said was going to happen forever. And it is terrifying for the contracting community. And they need to pay attention to it. The positive side of it is you have a couple of years to figure out what you're going to do next or to change your business model in a very meaningful way. Because executing at that scale, hiring tens of thousands, which I've never done, tens of thousands of people. I've been part of organizations with 3,000 to 4,000 people. I've scaled a company from 0 to over 400. Tens of thousands of people, getting them on the same page to go do these tasks is a Herculean effort. I don't think they will not be able to do it, but it's a
10-year plan they have, so it's definitely not going to happen overnight, but it's definitely something to be mindful of and something I'm going to keep an eye out for. It's you see Lowe's box trucks in neighborhoods.
Yep.
Probably going to start seeing some vans.
Yep. You're going to start seeing some Teslas.
Yeah.
But pay attention to it. And that's why we started Caddie, because we knew this would happen. The Caddie tools that we originally started with, and now we're really focused on 1 or 2 of those tools, but they're designed to make a contractor more efficient. We are working middle P&L, which hasn't been so important to contractors. It should have always been very important, but it's always about getting that job, driving that revenue. when we were at Fixed and we had the revenue that we had more revenue than we wanted, it was always about optimizing middle P&L, cost of goods sold, and then your operating expenses. And that's what Caddie was there to do. So when you wrapping this to like a product, like a service contract, if you're going out and buying $600, $700, $800,000 service contracts, knowing that you're paying less than that for a coil, generally less than that for a furnace or an air handler, it's half the price of your condenser if you're buying decently well. You're including a service, a product into your offering that is as expensive as the components or more expensive than the components that you're selling there. Don't do it. Pay attention to it. Like that, it's very important because what you'll find is if you do good quality work, your loss costs and all the things will be significantly less. You're talking, if you do good work, you're going to be at like a $75 to $100 potentially type cost on that product that you're paying $1,000 for right now. Quit doing it because you're going to get squeezed. You're going to get squeezed quickly. Like the Lowe CEO just said it. Pay attention to it. You will be squeezed because that $99 service they're doing right now for the handyman stuff is going to be in the air conditioning installation because they're going to make money on that. So you're going to be talking about installation prices on the labor side of $1,200, $1,500
for sure, with all in-house financing too. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do. It's definitely going to be a big lift, but I mean, it's a step in.
It's here.
New direction for contractors.
This will be the most important content that we've talked about in any one of these, I think, at this point. I really hope people pay attention because this is a big deal.
Definitely. It's mind-blowing.
It is. All right. That's it. Thanks for listening to us this time.
See
Till
ya.
the next one.
Yeah.